Alright, now that we're done with all the court intrigue, let's have a chat with Dorian.
A letter regarding Felix. He spilled wine on you in Redcliffe, remember? I was trying to discover what became of him. Where he ended up.
And?
Nothing. Redcliffe is abandoned, and there's no trace of him. It's as if he never existed. I think the Venatori found out he was helping me. I think they killed him.
Are you alright?
He was ill, and thus on borrowed time anyhow.
That doesn't mean you can't regret his death.
I know. Felix used to sneak me treats from the kitchens when I was working late in his father's study. Don't get into trouble on my behalf, I tell him. I like trouble, he'd say. Tevinter could use more mages like him. Those who put the good of others above themselves.
Were the two of you...
Felix and I? What an odd question. No, I had no intention of abusing Alexius's hospitality by seducing his son. Not that I've been proper my whole life, by any means. It wasn't like that. Even in illness, Felix was the best of us. With him around, you knew things could be better.
You make it sound like he was a better person than you.
What a mad thing to say. Few people are better than I. Very well, a better person, clearly, not nearly as handsome. Thankfully, Felix wasn't the only decent sort kicking around Thedas.
Find friends where you least expect it, right?
Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
That's something you'd like to do more often, then?
Watch as you twist an entire empire around your little finger. Yes, please. Of course, that leaves only Tevinter. And it wouldn't work as well there.
No. Why not?
Our dances are so much more intense. If an evening lacks a murder, we sniff and call it a ball.
I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair.
Not you too, with the ham.
You said Alexius was a mentor of yours.
He was my patron, sponsoring me to the higher levels of the Circle of Magi. In return, my successes were his. I had a lot of successes, naturally. Alexius was most pleased. He and I used to talk over brandy about the corruption, how we could one day make real change in the Imperium. And then he gave up. He stopped trying.
Why did he give up?
On a journey to Hosburg, a Darkspawn raid killed his wife and sickened his son. I remember hearing the news. He hadn't been there, you see. Alexius was convinced he could have protected them. And the guilt tore him up. I helped him with his research for a while, and then we drifted apart.
You mean you fought with him?
I told him to snap out of it, move on. I thought I had all the answers. Later, I regretted my hasty words. But we didn't speak again until he approached me for the Venatori. Too much pride, I suppose. Plus, I was busy drinking. One must have priorities.
Was it hard being away from him?
It was hard not having a patron, yes. I'm not exactly built to fit in. At any rate, he's dead now. More's the pity.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me.
Amazing Dorian is kind of a story of how one's life can slip away.
My Lady Inquisitor, it's good of you to speak with me. I have news regarding one of your companions, the Tevinter.
Is that a note of distaste I detect, Mother Giselle?
I admit his presence here makes me uncomfortable, Inquisitor, but my feelings are of no importance. I have been in contact with his family. House Pavas, out of Carenas. Are you familiar with them?
Familiar? We've never met, if that's what you're suggesting.
I'm suggesting nothing. I'm only curious whether you know of his situation. The family sent a letter describing the estrangement from their son and pleading for my aid. They've asked to arrange a meeting quietly without telling him. They fear it's the only way he'll come. Since you seem to be on good terms with the young man, I'd hoped...
Just what kind of meeting do they have in mind?
I believe they just want to talk, to understand why Dorian felt he had to come here. Somewhere private, away from Skyhold, but not in Tevinter. You make them nervous, I think. They don't understand why he's here with the Inquisition. They want him to come home.
What happens if Dorian doesn't agree?
Hopefully that will be the end of it. If not, well, that's why you should be there.
Why would his family contact you?
Because they don't know you, Inquisitor. I am not of the Imperial Chantry, but they know what I represent. These are parents concerned about the welfare of their son. How could I not do whatever possible? I would speak to the young man
Don't blame him.
myself, but he does not care for me. Thus I come to you. If any good can come of
Don't
this,
cover it up with that
we
bullshit.
must try.
They don't want Dorian to know. That seems odd.
They believe the young man would refuse, and the letter implies he'd have cause. Yet, they are remorseful for whatever came before. This is a chance for dialogue. There is deceit in bringing the young man to this meeting without his foreknowledge, I know. But does it not lead to a greater kindness if there is...
You can dress it how you want in your own mind to justify your bullshit.
Are you sure this isn't some kind of trap? I mean, the secrecy...
That did occur to me. What if it is a plot of those mages, the Venatori? Another reason to put this in your hands, Inquisitor. I pray that isn't the case. But if it is, you are far better equipped than I to respond to such treachery.
If you think I'm going to trick Dorian into meeting his family...
I feared you might say that. The family will send a retainer to meet the young man at the Red Cliff Tavern, to take him onward. If he truly does not wish this reunion, he can always end the matter there. I pray you change your mind, Inquisitor. Perhaps their letter will persuade you. If there is any chance of success in this...
How about enough of the rape by conversation? Sticking me in dialogue that's 50 times longer than it's supposed to be. I used to think Wynn was bad. Mother Giselle's got it real bad. Now, there's something about a busybody infecting every environment that they worm into. Okay? I find out Mother Giselle's not only a busybody, all right, and a little rumor monger and little scandal whore, but she's going to cover it up with this facade of religiousness.
Earlier, and the subject of you came up. I'm uncertain what I said, but she spat on the ground like a peasant. I hope she amuses you plenty.
Dorian, there's a letter you need to see.
A letter? Is it a naughty letter? A humorous proposal from some Antivan dowager?
Not quite. It's from your father.
From my father. I see. And what does Magister Hallward want, pray tell?
A meeting.
Show me this letter. I know my son? What my father knows of me would barely fill a thimble. This is so typical. I'm willing to bet this retainer is a henchman, hired to knock me on the head and drag me back to Tevinter.
This could be the Venatori. Lure us somewhere remote, then an ambush.
Perhaps. Although this does look like my father's penmanship. Or could he have joined the Venatori? No, that can't. Well, anything is possible. Let's go. Let's meet this so-called family retainer. If it's a trap, we escape and kill everyone. You're good at that. If it's not, I send the man back to my father with a message that he can stick his alarm in his wit's end.
There seems to be bad blood between you and your family.
Interesting turn of phrase. But you're correct. They don't care for my choices, nor I for theirs.
Because you wouldn't get married? Because you left?
That too.
Let's go meet this retainer then.
I wonder how much my father paid this man to wait around just in case I showed. We'll find out.
This is what you do for friends. But yeah, Mother Giselle, what's she doing consorting with magisters anyway, really? I mean, if she just received a letter, what the hell made them think of all the people in the Inquisition that she'd be the one that would be receptive to that type of thing? Why would they do that in the first place? Like, what were they thinking? Oh, Mother Giselle, we need to get in touch with the Inquisition. Mother Giselle's an open door for us to walk through. Something's not cool there. Like I say, being a busybody and then covering it up with this facade of piety or whatever. I don't need time for that crap. Anyway, in Redcliffe, in the tavern.
Uh-oh, nobody's here. This doesn't bode well.
Dorian.
Father. So the whole story about the family retainer was just, what? A smokescreen?
Then you were told. I apologize for the deception, Inquisitor. I never intended for you to be involved.
Of course not. Magister Parvus couldn't come to Skyhold and be seen with the dread Inquisitor.
Wow.
What would people think? What is this exactly, Father? Ambush?
Yeah,
Kidnapping?
you tell him, Dorian.
Warm
tell him.
family reunion?
Oh, shit.
This is how it has always been.
I should leave you to work this out.
Oh, no, you don't. I want a witness. I want someone to hear the truth.
Dorian, there's no need to.
I prefer the company of men. My father disapproves.
I'll need you to explain that.
Did I stutter? Men and the company thereof as in sex. Surely you've heard of it.
You've never been with a woman, or wanted to?
Allow me to say, women are fine creatures. You, for instance, are amazing above all others. They're just not for me. That's not so beyond belief, is it?
This display is uncalled for.
No, it is called for. You called for it by luring me here.
This is not what I wanted.
I'm never what you wanted, Father. Or had you forgotten?
That's a big concern in Tevinter, then.
Only if you're trying to live up to an impossible standard. Every Tevinter family is intermarrying to distill the perfect mage, perfect body, perfect mind, the perfect leader. It means every perceived flaw, every aberration is deviant and shameful. It must be hidden.
So that's what all of this is about? Who you sleep with?
That's not all it's about.
Dorian, please. If you'll only listen to me.
Why? So you can spout more convenient lies? He taught me to hate blood magic. The resort of the weak mind. Those are his words. But what was the first thing you did when your precious heir refused to play pretend for the rest of his life? You tried to change me.
I only wanted what was best for you.
You wanted the best for you. Your fucking legacy. Anything for that.
Don't leave it like this, Dorian. You'll never forgive yourself.
Tell me why you came.
If I knew, I would drive you to the Inquisition.
You didn't. I joined the Inquisition because it's the right thing to do. Once, I had a father who would have known that.
Once, I had a son who trusted me. A trust I betrayed. I only wanted to talk to him, to hear his voice again, to ask him to forgive me.
Wow. Damn.
He says we're alike. Too much pride. Once I would have been overjoyed to hear him say that. Now I'm not certain. I don't know if I can forgive him.
He tried to change you.
Out of desperation. I wouldn't put on a show, marry the girl, keep everything unsavory, private and locked away. Selfish, I suppose. Not to want to spend my entire life screaming on the inside. He was going to do a blood ritual. Alter my mind. Make me acceptable. I found out. I left.
I don't blame you, man.
Can blood magic actually do that?
Maybe. It could also have left me a drooling vegetable. It crushed me to think he found that absurd risk preferable to scandal. Part of me has always hoped he didn't really want to go through with it. If he had. I can't even imagine the person I would be now. I wouldn't like that, Dorian.
Are you all right?
No, not really. Thank you for bringing me out there. It wasn't what I expected, but it's something. Maker knows what you must think of me now, after that whole display.
I think you're very brave.
Brave?
It's not easy to abandon tradition and walk your own path.
At any rate, time to drink myself into a stupor. It's been that sort of day. Join me sometime, if you've a mind.
I don't know what you think you're doing.
I'm being clucked at by a hen, evidently.
Don't play the fool with me, young man.
If I wanted to play the fool, I could be rather more convincing, I assure you.
Your glib tongue does you no credit.
You'd be surprised at the credit my tongue gets me, Your Reverence.
Oh,
What's going on here?
Being a busybody again.
Seems the revered mother is concerned about my undue influence over you.
It is just concern. Your worship, you must know how this looks.
You might need to spell it
I don't give a shit.
This man is of Tevinter. His presence at your side, the rumors alone.
What's wrong with him being from Tevinter, specifically?
I'm fully aware that not everyone from the Imperium is the same.
How kind of you to notice. Yet still you bow to the opinion of the masses.
The opinion of the masses is based on centuries of evidence. What would you have me tell them?
The truth?
The truth is I do not know you, and neither do they. Thus, these rumors will continue.
Oh. I'd like to hear what these rumors are exactly.
I could not repeat them, your worship.
Repeat them. So you've shared them before.
See, I meant no disrespect, Inquisitor. Only to ask after this man's intentions. If you feel he is without ulterior motive, then I humbly beg forgiveness of you both.
Got a lot more than that to beg forgiveness for, and that's between you and whatever you call your maker or whatever. Your little brittle facade of holiness.
Well, that's something.
This sort of thing happens often, does it?
More than anyone tells you. No one knows their own reputation.
Until someone helpfully informs them.
There is that. She meant well, if that's of any concern. I should ask, do the rumors bother you?
I wish they wouldn't disparage you. They don't know you.
They know you even less than they know me. Perhaps it's odd to say, but I think of you as a friend, Inquisitor. I have precious few friends. I didn't think to find one here. Don't speak. I detest confessions, and I'd like to get this over with. Allow me to say I'll stand beside you, against Corypheus, my countrymen, or spurious rumor, so long as you'll have me.
Right on. Now he has his own little personal deal, kind of like Cassandra does. But well, that is one of the better what would you say, little personal quests. That's one of the cooler cutscenes I've seen. They really brought it home. I mean, who cares about this guy's sexual orientation? It's none of my business personally. I don't get into all that bickering and debate. I don't know what you bring in your bedroom out of the bedroom for anyway to debate about it in the first place. Shit, have some respect for yourselves. Regardless of what you're doing with your private parts, keep it private. I don't care. But the struggles with this guy and his, it could be anything that could fall under the same principles as his father is so caught up in status and wealth and, position and society and all this. And the demands placed upon him as probably the patriarch over his family and, holder of their estate and all that. When you get caught up in all that into Tevinter, then you lose sight of things that are important. I think everyone's guilty of that to some degree at some point, maybe not to that degree, but, some way, shape, or form. If we didn't, then no one would ever have anything to be embarrassed about when they go to sleep at night. But who of us wakes up in the morning and says, today I'm going to do not one single thing to embarrass myself? Shit, we do it every day, And so this guy caught up in Tevinter life here would be willing to risk losing his son to hold his status. And, of course, once it's brought to his face, he was at least man enough to say, I wanted to see. Well, that hit me right in the heart there when he said, I just want to see my son's face one last time. If nothing else, just to hear his voice, whether you forgive me or not, So a father's love, that kernel of father's love is still there somewhere. Even if it's covered up with all that Tevinter politics and society stuff and all the other things that drove that family apart like a wedge. It's still, and like Dorian said, it's not fixed. That's a lot of bad blood under the bridge. But at least it's something, At least they had that. What if his father died tomorrow and he never had that chance to at least hear him out, speak his mind, say his piece, so to speak. So I don't know. That's pretty awesome how they wrote that in there. If you remember this little cave or whatever this is, dungeon, I don't know. This is where we found one of the rune patterns early in the game by Red Cliff Farms. And Solus made mention that he heard of some really powerful rift somewhere or something. And so this is definitely a leveled rift here. I think everything else in this area maxes out around, 12 or so. 11 or 12, something like that. I think this has something to do with finding all those elven artifacts that, he'll keep saying, I sense elven magic, and you go light the little orb thingy, or whatever. And I think this is from finding so many of them. I don't remember if this was activated at the war table, or if it's something that was just in passing. You know, sometimes, and I don't try to drag you guys through all of this. I mean, anyone who's played the game, you know, you can talk to your companions every single time you return to Skyhold, and half the time somebody's going to have something new to say. But these are just little personal things. You know, I'm trying to include the major stuff, but anyway, whether this was in passing conversation or at the war table, I don't remember. I don't know if we get a special reward for closing this or anything. Notice Cassandra gave the entire squad a full set of guard right there. That was pretty cool. Funny thing is, Dorian doesn't get along with either of the other mages. I think he's worlds apart from Solus for the most part. You know, I'm trying to think. Wait a minute. I know Vivian basically thinks of him as an apostate. You know, blood mage, whatever. But I'm trying to think of exactly how. It seems like maybe not all of Solus dialogue with him is necessarily bad. I haven't traveled with him the whole time. Trying to get an idea of who likes each other and who doesn't. Sometimes you can take certain party makeups with you, you know, depending on your mood. If you want to hear light banter, you take people along that really like each other, like, you know, Sarah and Blackwall or something. And if you want to hear bickering and snide stuff, you take like Sarah and Vivian, or Vivian and Dorian, or, you know, something like that. And if you want to hear Vivian just disrespect the crap out of somebody, I think you take Blackwall along, and she's very, as if she's talking to a Neanderthal or something. She's very condescending. The dialogue's pretty cool in this. Something I've always loved about the Mass Effect and Dragon Age games. It's just the banter that goes on in the background. Sometimes you hear some amazing stuff. The long elevator rides in Mass Effect, for example, where you had plenty of opportunity to hear, you know, like Ashley and Caden talk to each other and stuff like that. That type of stuff is... I really get off to that. Alright, so I'm running around just kind of cleaning up some of this stuff for companion things. I don't know exactly how close we're getting to the end. You know, we visited different areas and done some different things, and rather than, you know, try to do every single side quest and this and that, wind up being, I don't know, at level 30 or some crap, you know. I think, try to, you know, get some companion things out of the way and stuff. See if there's any, neat things to share between, you know, like what went on with, Dorian right there, for example. That was awesome. You know, so I really don't want to miss that with any of the other companions. Not really sure. So I'm playing blind here, so, yeah, boy, the last couple videos, the Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts, that was a perfect example of just totally flubbing the whole quest thing. It didn't turn out anything like I would have liked it to. I'll come back here, my Ring of Pain. I would like to have found an ornate battle axe. I'd be putting up better numbers. I'm thinking about, at some point, doing another character build. Be working on Dragon Age 2. And, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Just as much fun as this, in my opinion. Try to, what would you say? Validate that game. It gets a lot of hate. I think it's been resented. Not necessarily for all the right reasons. I think a lot of people just resented it simply because it wasn't Origins. Some people are bitter, and rather than admit that maybe it wasn't such a bad game, they decided to stay proud and you know, say I hate Dragon Age 2, whether they really do or not. I don't think it was really given the chance it was supposed to. Of the few criticisms that might actually be, you know, justified. Of course, what game can't you criticize in some way? You know, it has so many redeeming qualities that far outweigh any drawbacks to that game. Combat system's amazing, the dialogue's awesome, just on and on and on. So I really enjoy it. I'm gonna try to get it a little bit of respect, kind of talk it up a little bit. That's what I really like to do. It'd be awesome if even just one person would, you know, maybe from watching videos, stop and say, you know, maybe I ought to give this another try. and go back through Dragon Age 2 with, you know, different set of eyes, look at it a little bit differently, and realize that it's awesome on so many levels. Not just story, and companion dialogue is amazing. In fact, honestly, if they had a, like Mass Effect, if they had a trilogy, I'm not going to compare Hawke to Shepard necessarily, but talk about a well-developed protagonist for a game, a well-developed main character, and the dialogue and the personality that comes through in the way your character talks, you know, cutscenes and things like that, whether you want to be really sarcastic or really kind or a real asshole or whatever. It's really well written and well played. Voice actress that plays Hawke is freaking amazing. Right up there with all the other amazing actors and actresses that BioWare uses. Top notch. So anyway, yeah, we'll be giving that game a whole bunch of respect. I will anyway.
I do not believe a reminder is necessary for this accused. Her capture and disgrace could not have been more public. Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon, although her titles are among the dignities already at risk of forfeiture. You spared her life despite her treachery. What becomes of it now falls to you.
Should have killed her on the spot is what I should have done. So, welcome to my party.
Empress Celine left her fate to me. Interesting.
Despite her posture, Lady Floriane has acknowledged your authority.
Should I curse you on behalf of the Elder One? I realize he had no intention of honoring the concordats I manipulated. Do as you must. I respect your mastery of the game, even as I despise your victory. Celine does not know her fortune.
She respects only the shallow demands of court. She must seek higher purpose. Floriane de Chalon, you will be cloistered within the Chantry.
Boredom, your worship. The sentence you have imposed is boredom.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to take it. You should fit in well, though, at the Chantry. Should fit in very well. All right, thought that was good for a couple laughs. All right, so let's get out of here, and who knows where we'll go next? I don't know. We'll see on the next video. But thanks for watching this one, and if you want to subscribe, click that button over my head if you haven't already. And want to watch some more videos, click the box on the left, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.